Hey guys, Rinji here. Once again, bringing the worst out of the VTuber community. And what's better, or what's worse, than my own personal drama with people that simply cannot learn some lessons. And today, we're going to be learning some lessons. And you will hopefully be learning some lessons as well. Well, if you've been familiar with what has been happening on my Twitter recently, and by recently I mean yesterday, you would know that ex-VTuber, current VTuber, whatever you want to call her, has decided to copyright strike my channel because of a stream I did a few months ago in the series of parasocial profiles, where I look at unhinged individuals that have a parasocial streak with their favorite VTubers. I did that on a couple of people, including Henry, Pipkin Pippa's biggest fan and also biggest detractor. And it's usually a series that takes a look at these sorts of individuals, discusses what they did, and generally makes a good time out of laughing at unhinged individuals, because that's what they are. It's completely unhinged, and in most cases unredeemable. But you know, this is not what this video is about. This video in particular is about false copyright strikes. Well, you may be wondering why Charlotte here decided to do what she decided to do. Well, it's because somebody in my chat during the stream decided to be mean to her, and she didn't take too well to that. So she decided to eventually copyright strike that video under some false pretenses, and we'll discuss why they're false as we go through this video. So in front of you, you see here, you have the strike, the copyright strike added to my channel, with a Twitch live stream from my channel. Mind you, clips from Charlotte Van Halen's own Twitch channel, which were also posted publicly, very likely by Charlotte herself, on a very particular forum, which we'll also discuss as we go through this video. So here's the forum in question. This is the Virtual Asylum forum, a forum dedicated to discussing VTubers in all kinds of ways. You'll find all kinds of opinions about VTubers on this on this particular forum. Some of them not as kosher as others, but you know, it is what it is. At least there's some freedom of speech available on that forum. So when I was doing research, when I was looking into Kestraline, also called Spanner, for my stream about new parasocial profiles, I decided to use this particular thread, started by the owner of the Virtual Asylum forum called The Proctor, called the Kestraline Chronicles, aka How Nolan Crush Got Upstage Overnight. Nolan Crush is another individual that's very exceptional, but again, this is not what this video is about. And I fully used this thread in my stream. I pretty much read it all through and discussed things that were posted in it. And you will quickly learn that the information that was provided by the Proctor in this thread has been directly provided to Proctor by Charlotte Van Halen herself. All this information contained in that thread, which I will link in the video description to this video as well, has been all provided by Charlotte herself to the Proctor, with the intent of making it public to people, so that they know what kind of individual Kestraline or Spanner is, essentially to warn other people about him. And that's pretty much also what I do within my own videos. Not only do I make fun of these very, very weird individuals, but in some sense, it's also meant to provide you with information about who to avoid. How you use that information is pretty much up to you. I don't tell people what to do with this information. In fact, on quite a frequent basis, I do tell people not to engage with the individuals I do cover because it's simply not worth it, and just then that just gives them more ammo to act incredibly unhinged in other places. But yeah, this is the basis that I used for my stream, and no other information other than the one contained within this thread has been used for that stream. So to fast forward, a few months pass after my stream is done. Nothing really happens. But then, in March of this year, Charlotte Van Halen DMs me with the following request, which I will read to you right now. Hello, I'm requesting that you remove the video about Spanner on your YouTube channel, as I have been shown it recently. There are various inappropriate comments about me from your chat during that stream, which bother me. Context: Spanner has rebranded into a VTuber to groom women more effectively, and we searched up his name, finding your video. So this is pretty much the comment that I did get from her, and making a very unreasonable request, mind you, to remove a video, any video, about her in a stream because someone else other than me said something during the stream that she found offensive, that she found disagreeable. And considering the nature of how unreasonable this request was, I just simply decided to ignore it. Because I get plenty of DMs on my Twitter account, which is now reinstated. It wasn't for a very long time after suspension. Here I am back. And I get all kinds of weird requests that I just simply ignore because they aren't worth my time. And the fact that, you know, she took offense to someone else talking badly about her is just, you know, that's not any of my problem. That person with whom she had trouble with during that chat didn't reveal any of her personal information. It was just kind of mean to her because that person didn't believe her side of the story. And, you know, you may be wondering what those comments actually were. And I'm inclined to believe this is what it was. This is a log from my YouTube stream that was done on Spanner or Kestrel. Here's an individual called Chomp essentially talking about Charlotte Van Halen here. Ha 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 ha, I don't feel sorry for her. She took advantage of him, not gonna lie. She's annoying. Make her of your own misery. How can you establish boundaries when you accept free help? You missed the VTuber getting into too deep with her simp and his free help. If you need free help, you don't need the help. She's super annoying and got into this mess herself. You missed the VTuber getting too deep with her simp and free help. She should feel bad. Don't ask for free help, it's scrub behavior. Get scrub situations. Thought be gone. Her RNG is needing free help. Her RNG is needing someone else's mailbox. And there were more comments in a similar vein, essentially being very mean to Charlotte and not taking her side as she was being harassed by a very unhinged individual, which was Spanner. An individual that decided to, you know, make his business to make sure that Charlotte feels as indebted to him as possible, and then him going to various places online in order to talk badly about her and about how he was led on and what a bad person Charlotte is for you know, essentially fooling him into a situation, ruining his life when all of this stuff got exposed on TVA and in other places. But, you know, that's what it was, and I decided to ignore this for the time being because it was unreasonable, and I just went about my day. Fast forward, as the copyright strike got issued yesterday, which was the 17th, yeah, which was the 17th of April of this year, as I decided to call out Charlotte on Twitter for essentially false copyright striking my channel for a video that I made, a stream, in which, in a transformative way, I essentially describe her situation and the situation with Spanner by reading the TVA thread. So this is what Charlotte decides to DM me on Twitter after I make a couple of call-out tweets about her. I don't know how the YouTube copyright strike system works. Were you not forwarded this? Well, you know, Charlotte, before you actually do something as major as copyright striking, because to me, a copyright strike doesn't mean much. This is a hobbyist YouTube channel on which I discuss things that are of interest to me. But, you know, if someone else that actually has YouTube as their livelihood and you relies on it heavily for their finances, you better make sure to do a little bit more research than, you know, just willy-nilly deciding to copyright strike someone, because that may end their channel. And in essence, and in turn, that may also end their whole career. So, you know, before you do something like that, maybe do just a little bit more research than that. And we'll read that whole email that she sent to YouTube as well, because it's full of bullshit, which I will like you to debunk as I go forward. And it made me feel out in greater detail report that it was there the answer I gave. I asked you to take it down politely and didn't articulate to the full extent. It's also due to the fact that legal action may be in the works as well. Well, you know, Charlotte, if you were in such a great distress, if this issue was really so important and needed to be so promptly handled, you would have pushed the matter on my Twitter. You wouldn't have just left it alone in the DMs. You would have phrased it very differently, because this doesn't seem like someone that is in a panic or in a distress to me. The way you came forward with that is that you wanted the video removed because someone was mean to you, and that's incredibly petty. People are mean to each other on the internet all the damn time, and they don't file copyright strikes for that, you know? So why didn't you press the issue? If this was so important to you, if a lawsuit, which I don't know if it exists or not, still, that's, you know, kind of in the ether. I didn't ask about it. If it's something like this was being this important to you, why didn't you continue with it? Why didn't you start with it in the first place? I questioned that quite severely. And I will continue to question it further as I go through other stuff that I have collected in terms of Charlotte's behavior regarding this whole situation, because going forward, you will see a person that is not distressed, that is not anxious, and that is not in any kind of, you know, mom order when it comes to talking about her stalker or any of the legal matters she claims to has. So then she continues. I hope you can respect that and take down, which adds fuel to the perceived fire and could affect my potentials of winning a harassment claim versus Spanner in court. Well, you know, funny about that, because there have been some comments that she herself made that kind of, you know, work against her own case here. But again, we'll get to those as well. If people that follow me or vice versa make videos of the situation, he could claim that as trying to alter the perception of him, slander, etc. I didn't know you saw this, but didn't respond to me, so what do you want me to do, man? Frowny face. And here's the email that she sent to YouTube, thinking that I got forwarded it, but that's not how it works. When you get a copyright strike or any strike on YouTube, you don't get the person's reasoning for it outlined from their own email. You pretty much get what I showed you at the beginning of the video, why the video was removed and who decided to file the strike. And in whose name sometimes, because sometimes the individuals themselves do not do it, they make a third party do it. But this is essentially what she said. Hello, YouTube. I will do my best to provide evidence and insight into the copyright claim. And here's she providing some timestamps that feature clips in which she talks about, you know, Spanner herself on her Twitch channel, essentially outlining the whole stalker situation. Clips, mind you, that are also available on TVA, which I'm frankly believing that she herself also provided to the proctor of TVA. These are excerpts within the video I'm requesting to be removed, which are taken from one of my Twitch streams on my channel, linking her Twitch channel, containing my voice, animated artwork, and stream itself. The topic of the stream, were to share about the stalker situation I was dealing with, which had to be escalated to the police. I'm not sure what day I was streamed on. I don't stream frequently anymore. However, on top of that, I humbly requesting YouTube to remove the entire video. This is because, as you see, the entire video is about a sensitive situation which happened to me. I was harassed and stalked by the man in the title of the video. It's disturbing to me to see the video about my personal life, especially when I've been trying to leave the online scene behind to do this stalker. Even worse, the live streamer took no care to educate others about the concerns and dangers of stalking, which is blatantly false, because, you know, even a child, a small baby, knows that, you know, kicking puppies or kicking babies and stalking people is kind of a bad thing. I think, you know, portraying the whole stream as, you know, irresponsible like that and saying I didn't educate people about, you know, the dangers of stalking is just blatantly false. And you can watch the stream, you can watch the re-uploaded stream of that whole thing at your leisure, because I will link it in the description of the video below. You can judge for yourself whether I was irresponsible with this and didn't educate, quote-unquote, people about how they should behave and how they should talk about stalkers. But, you know, apparently me laughing at a very unhinged person is just kind of going over the line. And, you know, essentially making sure that the clown knows his place. But it seems we have a second clown just being developed. Or maybe that clown was already in place and I just didn't notice this for a long time. But I had some hints here and there. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this is essentially what they say about my actions during the stream. Finding humor within the situation and allowing many victim-blaming comments to spread within the chat room. Well, I don't find humor in you being stalked, and I don't find humor in you being harassed by this individual. What I did find humorous is his behavior, because it's so off-kilter. It's so weird, and it's so out there that you cannot simply do anything else but laugh and pity this sorry individual. So if you take offense to that, I am very sorry for that. I am sorry that, you know, my sense of humor does not align with yours, but you know something about, you know, edgy sense of humor, as I will show you later on. And when it comes to these victim blaming comments that were made within my chat, people are allowed to say whatever they wish in a YouTube stream. I will not go out of my way to interrupt a stream that is already very freaking long to tell people not to victim blame someone, because that's their own opinions. I don't have to agree with them, but the fact, you know, that they stated their opinions, that's on them. Take umbrage with that, not with me, just because, you know, I allow people to have some degree of free speech on my YouTube channel, so they can express their worldviews. I didn't allow anyone to share any of your other personal information, which I do not have, by the way, nor was any of that information shared on my stream, like, at all. It was just people, predominantly Chomp there, commenting on your behavior, and they didn't agree with, you know, how the situation was portrayed. Because most of the chat was focusing on Spanner, on Kestrel, and how unhinged he was. Not on you. There's just a few comments here and there that you took exception to, and that drove you over the edge, essentially, which I understand, because you're a huge manhera. So yeah, continuing on. Due to all of this, I'm really hoping that YouTube will help me take this down, and it also endangers my mental health and safety. Indeed, it's the best course of dealing with stalker to avoid speaking about them and giving them as little attention as possible, and the video does not help in any case. We'll also get into that, because Charlotte here likes to shoot herself in both feet, not just one, both of them. It's kind of a miracle she can walk with these opinions going forward. But we'll get to that very, very soon, as I will finish reading this email. If YouTube deems it necessary, I can send a full archive and timeline of the stalking behavior forward. I can also create a video showing that this is indeed my voice and an animated character. I'm hoping that such a share of my personal information and terrible events shall not be necessary, and that YouTube copyright team can see how this is pressing issue for myself. Best wishes, Charlotte. Well, you know, this is not how the YouTube's copyright system should work, because you're essentially silencing criticism, and what's worse, a video about someone that's a pretty big stalker at this point and is still continuing doing what we're doing to you. It is getting lost, so that information is not being shared in as many venues as they can possibly be. So it's a little of BS here and there, and the sprinkles of it are visible everywhere. And this is our continued DMs after the email was put in the DMs as well. Not sure if I would help to see the stuff I had to compile for the police case as well. I think I said the emails was pretty fair, and I did try to talk to you privately about it. Well, you didn't try hard enough, and you made yourself look very petty. And, you know, blame me for ignoring very petty people on Twitter. And this is what I decided to reply to with. Do you know why you were ignored? Because it's an unreasonable request in the first place. Delete your video because someone in your chat was mean to me. I should have elaborated more, but I was in a bit of a rush and I was hoping to have the conversation about it. Yes, you were in a bit of a rush, and then you decided to go silent for over a month about it. You were in such a rush that you, I guess, simply forgot about your life-altering issue and, you know, your stalker that hangs over your head, your court case. You didn't... you decided not to elaborate further and just, you know, stay silent about it. Because that's how pressing the issue was for you. As you can see, it sort of boils down to and safety potential legal conflict sort of thing. I think that's a reasonable thing for me to say. Hey, please take that down. I don't want the situation with this guy to get any worse than it already is. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. Well, I do not, because your behavior doesn't outline with what you're saying here. And let me show you a little bit of that as we go through the rest of these DMs. They want to talk about. I'm not like pissed off at you specifically or anything. I can always undo the copyright claim if you're cool with removing it. And I reply with this: no, I believe I will do things my own way and contest your copyright strike, or let it expire and then re-upload the stream someplace else. And then she replies: sorry to hear we can't figure something out together. And my apologies if I didn't go about doing it the right way. It was under the impression that YouTube would forward the message to you, which it doesn't again. Doesn't really use YouTube for literally anything. And that's the end of our DMs. And right now, I would like to show you a little bit of, you know, messages that Charlotte has left on her very own public Discord about this situation, about Spanner in general, because they are very enlightening. And the way she acts really paints a very clear picture. This is a message that Charlotte left in regards to the situation with the stream and the copyright strike from yesterday. Guys, I don't know anything about the React and fair use shit. Much is allowed and how much is not allowed, but I think it's fair for me to say, hey, please don't turn a fearful situation about life into a video, which may be interpreted as slanders. Thanks. And you know, it's kind of funny to think about it because, you know, as I was saying during the very beginning of this video, the information that was provided to that TVA thread that my stream was based on was all provided and encouraged by Charlotte herself. And here's one of such messages from her very own Discord. Again, public Discord, not private. Anyone has access to it. Absolutely anyone. Even her stalker could be on her Discord. This is a message from December of last year in which she herself encourages people to read the TVA thread about her own harassment with the information she herself provided to the proctor of TVA. Here's what she says. So everyone, Two huge announcements tonight. First of all, an abridged document about the Spanner stalking adventure has been dropped. I am encouraging people to share it with other small VTubers as a reason to ban him. And she links to the tweet she made about it and to the virtual asylum VTuber forum. And then she just kind of shills her merch, which is unimportant to it. But, you know, she doesn't do it just once. She didn't just do it, encourage people to read this thread about the stalker, about which I made a video about which I made a stream about, which is essentially, you know, pretty much the same, just in a different format. She not only does it once, she not only encourages people to read it in December, she also does it again in March of this year, a few months later. Meaning, she wants people to know about this. This is not just any kind of safety issue to her. She wants people to... She wants people to know the information that I, myself, also shared from this same thread. Nothing more than that. And she just encourages it. And in case you were wondering how distressed Charlotte is about Spanner, because, you know, as she claimed in the email, not giving the stalker attention is probably the best idea going forward. But, you know, for someone that is so afraid, has such a hard time dealing with all of the situation, she sure can't help but, you know, talk about Spanner all the damn time on her very public Discord. Here's something else. Like, she mentions Spanner in unrelated issues, just so that people know that she had an issue with Spanner. And here's one of those. He's not like mean or anything, just pathetic and blundering, has Spanner vibes, talking about some guy she was talking to on Discord. Because, you know, once a Spanner, always a Spanner. Everyone has to be related to Spanner in some way. But that's not everything. Here she decides to talk about Spanner again in a different context, linking a tweet about some kind of football challenge. When I was streaming with all the Twitch chat, true. Me and Hostile specifically telling Spanner to jump. You know, someone that really doesn't want to give Spanner attention. She sure likes to give him attention on her public Discord. Funny that, you know. But that's not everything. She learned that Spanner was a VTuber, as you probably already found out from this same video. She was talking about it in DMs as well. You know, she decided to talk about him in a different way. She decided to stalk her stalker, because that's a very wise thing to do when you have a court case going on for, you know, defamation and slander, and you pretty much do the same to him. Someone downloaded it and put it on Rumble when the whole thing went down. Pretty sure he nuked his old account, but think someone said they saved it. He streamed about me twice, but I don't know if the other is saved. Yeah, I think it was just Fortnite one. Don't know if anyone ever archived the Suika one. Oh my god, it's really just him crying over Fortnite. Yep, you know, linking it again in the public Discord. Going after your stalker, whom you're so afraid about, and with the one that you have an apparent court case going. And I don't know how much I can repeat this. It really shows the actions of a person that's completely afraid of her life. And then she continues about the same thing. Actually encourages something else, which is even more unhinged. Pretty much on the same level as Spanner would be. I'm listening for the first time. Live reaction. My first reaction. He's crying because I didn't need him, and he wanted me to need him. Pepe clap. Normal. Chatting. Does anyone want to live reaction to the vote of Spanner sobbing about me while playing Fortnite together in voice call? Yes, again, very wise decision to talk about your stalker like that, as you have a pending court case. This is March, by the way, of this year. Hey guys, how about I do a live reaction about my stalker? I'm so fucking afraid of him. I'd like to share it with everybody. And this is her just adding everyone in the chatting section of her Discord, which pretty much just is a call to everyone in the Discord server at this point. Nearly 4 hours long. Hopefully it's Kino from start to finish. Any live reactors? I've never seen it, so this is gonna be a moment in time for me. Yes, really afraid of that spawner, dude. You're really distressed about all of this shit. Pathetic hypocrite. And then there's more. This guy's Insta is so goated. At Saga, Spanner, if he wasn't fucking around, he should video backflips while crying. And for someone that is so incredibly afraid of Spanner, you sure leave a different impression. And then more. Wow, WTF. This is from January of this year. Another person who did me dirty got exposed today too, in a sense. He owns a company and it's shutting down. Very wondrous fortune. Congrats, this guy died. Oh, Spanner died. Hopefully. And, you know, hopefully everything I have showed you in this video shows the levels of bullshit I sometimes have to deal with when it comes to people just outright, you know, being hypocrites, lying about me, and then thinking those lies will not be exposed in some way, shape, or fashion. Because, you know, Charlotte here isn't a very smart person by any means, as you can probably tell. All of her actions and reactions seem very knee-jerk to me, and it would kind of seem to me that she just kind of enjoys a little bit of that attention. But, you know, for someone that says things like this, what a hassle. I hate drama. You sure like to engage in it the same amount that I do. What a hassle. I hate drama. I do too, Charlotte. But now you're a part of it. Because you asked for it. All of that could have been, you know, solved under wraps. Or could have been just ignored. Because what am I? A small channel on YouTube. And, you know, TVA, it has a much bigger pool than I do. But what you provided to TVA yourself, by the way, you didn't decide to go after that. But something in a video format that basically regurgitates the same thing that was in the TVA thread, that's something to take exception with. Not because it shares information about your case, but for one reason, and one reason only. Because someone decided to say mean words about you in the chat. And that was your justification. So please do not try to BS me about this safety thing and how afraid you are of Spanner. Because that's all BS. And I think you understand why it is. If I wanted to show more, I would show much more. Because she cannot take Spanner's freaking name out of her mouth. The same way Spanner cannot take his name out of her mouth. And as someone said many times over in a very particular thread on TVA, these two people are pretty much worth one another. And I hope they get married after the lawsuit is done. But for right now, that's everything. And I hope to see you on the next one if my channel survives multiple strikes by this dummy.